Good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. First, I have to apologize for starting late. We were in a workshop discussing the future of LPGA and the canal and the street, so we got a little longer than we thought, so I apologize for starting late. So at this time, if you have anything in your pocket that makes noise, please turn it to silent or turn it off. If everyone would please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Dillon.
Lord, we thank you for the privilege to come in here tonight where we can all gather together to make the decision for the city and for each individual person that's involved. We ask you to be with this meeting in our hearts and our minds to make the right decisions. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I forgot that. I've been gone for a week, so. So Val, would you call the roll for us, please?
Commissioner Snow.
Here.
Commissioner Curry.
Here.
Commissioner Delanoy.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson. Mayor Penny. Mayor Penny.
Here. At this time, it's time for public comments. This is time for the audience to approach the commission about anything not on a regular agenda. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, it's how I speak. My dad pounded it into my head. It's no indication of your age.
Tracy Anderson, 916 Newcastle Court. Just to let everybody know, I got two polls in this question. Have you been out to where we live? Anybody ride out there and see what's coming? It's there. 49 new townhouses. 10 townhouses flooded us. Now we have 49 more coming. So that makes, we're going to be underwater to the roof. My other question was, we had talked about backflow, where our end of the street goes into that lake. I wonder how that project's coming along, if they're putting the valve in or not. But there's some questions I have about what's going on. And to tell you, I'm very worried, and you know, it's when you can't sleep at night because you're worried about you losing your house for the 4th time. And nobody just seems to care about it. But I just want all of you to drive down there and see what we're dealing with. It's unbelievable. A lake cannot hold the 10 townhouses that we have now, and 49 more going in. And believe me, they're hurrying. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience like to address the commission?
How you doing, man?
Hi.
My name's Brandon Edwards. I've been in the city for about 15 years now. I've never been to this. It's my first time coming. I was Boy Scout here for my entire life. Troop 54, we met at the back. I met at the American Legion for years. I've done multiple veteran ceremonies and flag ceremonies here. I've just been a part of the city my entire life. My only issue, and it may be a small issue on your guys' end, but it's kind of bigger to me, is LPGA. I've been fishing that dock since I can remember. I fished it with my grandfather, I fished it with my father, I'm fishing it with my kids now. And you know, it's one of the only docks that we have in Holly Hill that is available to the public for fishing. A couple years ago, Ross Point, that dock kind of got destroyed by the hurricane. Hasn't been back up yet, which I heard there's rumors going around about it's coming soon, so that's awesome. But the other night, 2 weekends ago on Friday night, me and my buddy Cameron were out there just fishing. You know, I don't drink, I don't do any type of drugs, I don't, you know, dirty up. I mean, I pick up the trash from the dock when there's trash out there. Any fishing line, anything like that, we pick it up. You know, we take care of the place while we're there. Same as within hunting, I pick up the area that we're in. But an officer came out there and advised me that, hey, you can't be out here after hours fishing. And I just replied to him with, you know, we can't be out here after hours, or is it because the park's closed for maintenance? He said at any time after hours you can't be out here. And I told him that I heard from the city commissioner, which is Mr. Delanoy here, from his son. I grew up with his son in the city as well. that we should be fine fishing there at nighttime, you know, as long as you guys are just fishing. And he just kind of came at me very aggressively and was like, oh, you don't know the city commissioner, and asked me what his name was, and called me a liar, and then asked me if I needed help reading the signs back there that tell me that the park was closed, and told me that if I was to return, I'd be arrested for trespassing. I just want to bring that to your attention. I don't feel that we should be kicked out of the park for fishing. You know, as an officer, you should be able to walk up there and say, hey, these guys aren't doing anything wrong. You know, I understand you gotta look for the guys sleeping out there and the guys, you know, doing whatever out there, but being an officer, you should be able to judge a book by its cover fairly well. Come up there, you see us, we're out there fishing. I mean, I got a big fish I'm taking a picture of as he's walking up, you know, clearly we're fishing. And like I said, it's one of the only docks that are decent for fishing around here. A lot of them are overfished. That dock is really good at nighttime. It has the lights underneath, lights up the water. The fish attract to it. We catch tons of fish there. I feed my family off those fish. And it hasn't became a problem until the last like 2 years that they've started coming out there and kicking us out. So I would just like to bring that to everybody's attention. And if we can maybe not get kicked out for fishing, that would be great.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else from the audience like to address the commission this evening?
Danielle Latona, 904 Newcastle Court.
Wait,
Just
one
a second.
I'm sorry, sir. We don't address your concerns until the end. If you want to sit here, we'll have an answer for you if you wait another 10 minutes. Absolutely. Thank you. Sorry, Danielle.
No, you're good. Just have a few questions, if they can't be answered tonight, just at some point. One of the questions is based on the money that was the $600 million that our state gave out to various cities for various projects. One of them was $450,000 for Holly Hill to expand the use of reclaimed water into city parks, diverting river discharge and reducing fertilizer use. Second one was $325,000 for Holly Hill to elevate one of its lift stations that failed during Hurricane Milton, causing nearly $12 million in damage and at least 350 homes that flooded. And the third one is $94,500 for Holly Hill to collect and share data on tidal rise and stormwater discharge levels as a means of reducing flooding. So the questions are, did the city receive the money yet? I know how government works, so it might not even be here yet. If yes, when are these items being addressed, if they already haven't been addressed? And the question on, if I remember correctly, the sandbag machine was declined, and I don't know if this is fact or not, but rumor has it we have a sandbag machine, and if so, where did that money come from? And then, is the spider fixed or replaced? When are the ditches going to be cleared? We're in the middle of hurricane season, and I've yet to see any ditches on Flomish, but I see a 6-foot, probably 2-acre piece of property being built up 4 to 5 feet. Is the mound around the RV park going to get mowed anytime soon? I know they mowed it about a week ago and left all the grass on the sidewalk, and saw a bicycle almost fall because it rained after it, and there was, like, the sidewalk was covered in grass. And the townhouses and the RV park water, where is that water being diverted to? What canal, what retention pond, what lake, what house? Just where is it being diverted? That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the commission this evening for something not on our agenda?
John O'Shea, 111 LPGA. I just wanted to express my thanks to Chief Williams, all the officers, Randy County Code Enforcement, and everybody that's helping there. a lot of progress with 1090 Riverside, Real McCord, Airbnb. Texas provided me with some.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the commission on anything not on our regular agenda this evening?
Bill Wabi, Holly Hill resident and business owner. I had a question about the business tax license, BTR. Last year, you asked us all to sign up for this online thing, and so that's a new thing that we're supposed to check. I don't understand what, not good enough for US mail. The IRS says we only send you notifications by US mail, so they don't make us do any extra special portal like the city does. So now we're supposed to check our email, we're supposed to check this new portal that's difficult to use, and we're paying a technology fee for this that's supposed to save the city money, this resource. And it just, I haven't been able to use it. I haven't been able to log into it. I haven't been able to sign up for it. So I received mine by mail, snail mail, which apparently is good enough for everybody else. I had another question about the RV park on Flomich that somebody else mentioned. GLE scrapyard is an essential service. I don't know if it is or isn't, but in my opinion, after we have a hurricane, everybody takes all their trash, and maybe instead of sending it to the landfill, put it to the scrapyard. Let's recycle it. Let's, repurpose, reuse, reduce. And after the flooding, nobody was able to use that scrapyard because it was so flooded. And now, as somebody stated, I've got pictures on my phone of, the 6 foot high, that they're just making the ground go up higher. Are they doing anything for their retention ponds to make them deeper? There's stories of Brown and Brown that they said, before they broke ground, they said, no, make it go higher, make it go higher. So what about all of our residents that live here? Our houses are here and they're already built. We can't go higher. Or are you guys gonna, give us money to raise our houses? Let's do a retention pond. Let's prevent this before our houses get flooded out. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience like to address the commission? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Charlotte Baumgart. Can anybody hear me? Okay. And that's what I'm, Charlotte Baumgart, and please stop spelling my last name Boogard. It's Baumgart, B as in Bravo, A as in Alpha, U as in Unicorn, M as in Mike, G as in Golf, A as in Alpha, R as in Romeo, and T as in Tango. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't going to speak tonight, but it's the issue with the sound system here. Granted, I have hearing issues, but I have my hearing aids in, brand new batteries, and every time I come, I cannot hear what the speaker is saying up front when I'm back there. Now, I know that there was some money put in to update the AV system, and I really think that we want to hear what our fellow citizens are saying in this town. So that's my comment. Could we please fix this so that it can, whoever the speaker is, can be heard back in the audience as well? Okay, that was my.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience want to address the commission on anything not on our regular agenda this evening? Seeing no one raising their hands, we're going to go ahead and close public comments. And try to address some of the concerns that I heard. I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit and pass the rest to Joe. Some of them, Brian's not here, so there may be some questions about the BTR portal. But we do have a sandbag machine. We bought it. We didn't get it through appropriations, but we took it out of our general fund money. The spider equipment that I heard mentioned, that doesn't belong to us. That's the county's equipment. The BTR portal, I agree with you, there were challenges, but I came in and staff walked me through it. when I signed up. So I think it's going to get better. There have been some growing pains, but hopefully it does get better. And there will be some cost savings, and to make it more user-friendly. Wasn't so friendly to start, but I think it's getting there. So if you come in and ask for help, I'm sure they'll walk you through that, Mr. Wabi.
Can we still get AL notices? It does go out. It does go out.
Yeah.
Six people just left them alone.
I was told that it would be
What if we go out by mail, we ask for your
all right. Thank you.
The sound system, it's in the budget, it's in the process. We are, I think, Mr. Gutakis, who is our IT director, is in charge of that. I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming.
For the next budget year, there's $90,000. I think that was in the budget to upgrade the sound system, but there's also, don't you know why this one doesn't work?
I didn't turn it on. But there's also a hearing device that the clerk has that you can wear that will help you to hear the meeting better. It's listed on here that if you need any assistance, we do have devices that you can put in your ears that will help. If anybody else doesn't have their green button on, that will help too, if you have a green button.
We don't have the choice.
Okay.
Well, I could probably speak without this. I'm so loud.
Then there were some concerns about the RV park and the townhouses. And it's my understanding that the properties have to retain their own water. When I went by the RV park recently, I think it's an 8-acre lake that's going to be in charge of wet retention, and then there's a couple other acres of dry retention. I did go past the townhomes. You can almost, actually, I drove down the road off of Flomish. That isn't even a road yet. I probably wasn't supposed to be there, but it is going along quite quickly. I know we've been approved for some of the flooding grants, and I don't know if you know where we're at with those projects, Joe?
They're reimbursement grants, so we do the work first and then we get reimbursed.
Okay. So those are in the process. The thing I'm not certain about, and I'll let you answer, fishing at LPGA.
I addressed that when I got the complaint last week, and I notified the chief and the sergeant that was involved that night that although we have a rule on the brown sign that says the park is closed after dark, it has been my position since 2014 that if someone is fishing on the pier, and they are legitimately fishing on the pier, we leave them alone. Now, some officers didn't follow that. They believed it was another standard. They're concerned that homeless people will be out there. And as this gentleman mentioned, situational awareness is a big priority for police officers. If you can't tell the difference between a local fishing off the pier and a homeless person trying to hide, then you need to find another job. It is my position that anyone who is legitimately fishing when the park is closed off the LPGA pier is to be left alone.
Can I-
That's whether it's under construction or not, right?
They shouldn't be walking through an active construction site. So if it's closed during construction, I think that's a legitimate reason to be closed. But if it's not a construction site and they want to access the pier and they are legitimately fishing, we should let them legitimately fish.
Mr. Forte, I just want to make sure that the chief has gotten that message out to his.
Sent an email to the chief, copied the sergeant. The message has been out there.
Any other commissioners have any comments? Any of the,
On the Riverside Drive address, the Airbnb,
uh-huh.
I just don't know anything about that.
There's been some concerns. This gentleman lives right next door to the Airbnb. There's been some guests there that were not as polite as one would want them to be, late noises about the pool, kids screaming. So, but he's shared that with us a couple times, and I think staff is on top of that, and they're making progress in the right direction.
Right?
Anyone else want any comments?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go right ahead. Come right down the
Thank
table.
you. Mr. Forte, can we speak about the townhouses and the pond there?
I'm going to give you the stock answer. The answer doesn't change. That area was designed by engineers, stormwater engineers. They built those ponds to reflect a 100-year storm. when we have a 500-year storm, this city will flood. There's nothing I can do about that. That's the answer, and I can't change that answer. Stormwater ponds were built to the 100-year storm. They're not
And
built for 500.
from what I recall, with the county giving money to residents to raise homes and all that, we didn't have anybody that qualified for that, correct?
I think of the over 400 applications that went in, only 7 were approved.
Yeah.
Now, what we
Countywide.
are doing
Countywide.
So
countywide.
that's the county that offered that program, but I don't know
Now,
why not very many
no, there's not enough
qualified,
money.
but
To Tracy's point, we, the city, are still working on a project to put a weir structure in on the opposite side of that lake, that pond, whatever, so that we could lower that pond down in advance of a storm. That is still, I won't know how far we could lower it, but a lot more feet than a couple of the spare inches that we've been able to do in the past, because that gate it's like the same gate that comes off the Rio Way Pond. The gate's on the bottom, and you raise the gate up, the water goes out from the bottom rather than coming off the top. So we're able to lower it significantly more. But again, we're looking at a couple of years before that project is done. So, yeah.
What about that cutoff valve that you were talking about?
And then we're also looking at putting check valves in on each of the ends of the cul-de-sacs to stop water from backing up through the catch basins. Now, if the pond overflows, I can't control that. But if it's backing up in the catch basins, another project we're looking at is check valves in those 3 cul-de-sacs.
And just for the audience that's here and people that might be listening, like Joe mentioned, these projects are designed to the 100-year floodplain. Even if we wanted to increase our standards in our city, the legislature in Tallahassee passed a bill called SB 180, which restricts us from making any further requirements on any new development or making any changes to our plans. New Smyrna wanted to do that. Several other cities in the state have looked at doing that, and the state has taken away that power. They've actually gone back in time to before the hurricane of last year. So any changes that were made between the hurricane and now are null and void.
And
So
I think that rule is in place for, I don't know if it's 1 year or 2 years after the storm.
One,
First rules are through October of '27.
yeah,
And then prospectively is for 1 year after.
after any other hurricane in the future. So we have had our hands tied. We're lobbying with our representatives in Tallahassee to make some changes because I think there's some necessary changes that need to be made. But it's out of our control.
it's
at
very
this time.
difficult when the state ties our hands to be able to move forward with some positive projects to impact positively. But I also want to just remind everybody that when we started talking about this pretty near a year ago, I think, we have since hired a stormwater manager. We said back then that unfortunately, a lot of the projects that are going to need to be done and completed, they're not going to happen right away. We have no quick solutions. The only thing that I know this commission has tried to make sure is that we have a plan to clear our ditches, our culverts, all of those to assist. Keeping in mind, we showed a map several months back that a lot of those areas are the counties. We're beholden to the county.
County came out when I called them, they were at my house within 2 hours, and they did clean that canal by my house.
Well, that's good.
Jeff, you had some things you wanted to add?
Yeah, I don't mean to make light of the flooding at all. I definitely want to see more of our ditches getting cleaned out. I protest against it every chance I get in the meetings and everything else. And I want to see more getting done too. Because I don't think there's as much getting done as we should get done. We need to allocate money towards it. That's not my total decision. Daniel was told that if he was to come back out to that park again, that he would be arrested. I want to make sure that doesn't happen, okay? Is that going to be, is that okay? Can we
It's been
make sure that
addressed.
doesn't happen?
It's been addressed.
It does? Okay, well, I didn't know that was addressed. Thank you for coming up, Daniel, and making it clear. Thank you.
Wouldn't hurt to drop a red drum in a minute. Just kidding.
Was the redfish in the slot? That's the question. Oh, okay.
But it was still a good catch. I was gonna say, did you go home and nap after that?
All right, any other comments that the commission needs to make?
That's all I have.
All right, we're going to close public comments at this time. If there's,
Mayor, I'll just,
yes,
Ms. Latonia had a number of questions. If you'd email them to me, I could address them individually, because you asked way too many for me to keep up with. Just, you have my email, send it to me, and I could answer most of those.
thank you. And we make notes here. If we forget something, grab us after the meeting or send us an email. We'd be more than happy to address your concerns. So now we're going to move to the consent agenda. There's only 2 items on the consent agenda, but a motion from a commissioner will approve both items at the same time, unless the commissioner wants to remove something for discussion. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak on an individual item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We will now move to our public hearings, which is addressing 537 Dorothy Avenue.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mayor, staff. My name is Josh Steele. I'm the Senior Planner for the city, if you haven't met me yet. Brian and I prepared this report for 537 Dorothy, requesting accommodation for, under the Fair Housing Act. So the applicant is here today, Ellen Nolan, she's right here. She's requesting a special accommodation under the Fair Housing Act to allow for the continued use of her front porch and ramp that was constructed. Her husband, James, is disabled, and he's been deemed handicapped by his medical doctor due to his age and the effects of cancer treatments. Documentation of this medical status is available upon request. In order to access their home safely, the Nolans built a covered porch and wheelchair ramp without a permit, and it encroaches into the front yard setback of 25 feet in the zoning district. The porch and ramp were constructed to allow Mr. Nolan easier access to his home when transitioning from the vehicle during inclement weather. Without a wheelchair ramp and porch, Mr. Nolan would also need to be physically carried into and out of his house. For the dimensions and the setback issues, the main house actually sits at an angle to the road, and it itself is approximately 24 feet from the property line. So that means that the house itself already is encroaching into that setback. The construction porch and ramp sit approximately 17 feet from the front property line, which means that its encroachment is approximately 8 feet. Because the porch extends into the required front yard setback, the applicants will need official approval from the city in order to keep it in its current location. It is helpful to know that the distance from the edge of the road to the porch is approximately 34 feet, so there are no visibility issues. It is a corner lot, and there aren't any actual visibility issues because it's set so far back on that corner. For the required information that the city has, the city staff reviewed the reasonable accommodation request by Mrs. Nolan, and has satisfied all 6 requirements laid out in the city code, which is chapter 82, division 3, section 322, subsection A, labeled evaluation request for accommodation pursuant to the Fair Housing Act. Upon review, we didn't have there was nothing that was flagged in those 6 requirements. Upon evaluation of the reasonable accommodation request, city staff has determined that this request falls in line with the city's comprehensive plan, zoning ordinance, traffic and concurrency requirements. The surrounding parcels are all in the same zoning district, all in the same future land use. classifications. And there is an open code violation, which is one of the kind of like the hits on there. But if this were to be, the open code violation for it not being built with a permit. So if this request were approved, it would actually resolve that code violation. So the actions that can be taken by the commission, there's basically 4 actions that can be taken. You can find that the approximate 8-foot encroachment into the front yard setback for a handicap ramp and porch at 537 Dorothy is a reasonable request and improve the encroachment. Or you can deem that it is a reasonable request and approve the encroachment with conditions. So you can deem that it is a reasonable request but approve a different amount for an encroachment, or you can deem that it is not a reasonable request to deny the encroachment. Just to, I'm sure you guys know, but just to let you know, the City Board of Planning and Appeals actually voted to recommend approval for this on August 4th. So if you guys have any questions for me.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for Scott. I'm all in favor of this. It seems like a reasonable concern. But is there any way to make the request go away when the home is sold in the future? So that it's a reasonable accommodation for this resident, but a future resident might not have the same requirement.
Brian and I talked about that because I think we had this discussion the last time the commission approved a similar request. And we talked about how this is a little bit different than a variance because it's not something unique about the property, it's something unique about the owner. And when I talked to Brian, I think the non-conforming standards will apply, and that if this is damaged, it has to be rebuilt back to code, and they will no longer qualify for this, whoever the owner is, if they're not the current owner. But in terms of making somebody go in and have to tear down this improvement, just to make the transfer, Brian did not seem comfortable with that.
Okay.
We talked about it, but it will be, if it is damaged, or if somebody comes in to do a major remodel or whatever, this will have to be addressed then and brought back to code.
Okay. I mean, I'm still in favor of it. I'm just thinking, get the best of both worlds kind of thing.
I think it was an enforcement issue,
Okay,
is what the
Right.
issue was.
any questions for staff?
No,
Is this aluminum, just aluminum? Is it made out of aluminum, the ramp?
The ramp is concrete.
Oh, it's concrete.
Yes.
Anyone from the audience like to discuss this issue? Seeing none, yes, sir. Sir, you need to come up to the microphone. Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes, I'm Ray Littleton.
yep, he has stated his name.
He just did.
Oh, I didn't hear him, I'm sorry.
Ray Littleton.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
No, I was just curious why permits weren't asked for in the first place. I've got similar issues with one of my other neighbors.
A lot of things happen on Saturdays and Sundays. It's on the owner's responsibility to apply for the permit ahead of time.
Whose responsibility is it to ask for permits?
The owner of the property.
Special variances.
The owner of the property.
Oh,
They came in and they asked for a permit once they were told they needed one, but one could not be issued without this approval by this commission because what they were asking for a permit for was not compliant with our codes. And this gives them the relief for the city to be able to issue the after-fact permit.
To answer your question, it was built without a permit,
okay,
not legally without a permit.
thank you.
Anyone from the audience like to discuss this issue? Seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve I second. as stated, but I do have a quick question. Scott, I remember dealing with this special accommodation request one time off of Flomich with a horse.
It was denied.
I remember dealing with that. And I remember back then, the special accommodation for a disability was really difficult for us to deny, but in that particular situation, it wasn't. But remind me, when it deals with the special accommodation for disabilities,
It's a, where this kind of came from, something I came up with years ago. You have, probably a better word for them, but there's things called halfway houses, where people are sober living. Huh? Sober living. Okay, sober living. But basically, people who are transitioning from being addicts to trying to go through recovery. If you're an addict, it is a disability under the ADA. A lot of people don't know that, but you are disabled under the ADA, which means reasonable accommodations have to be provided, whether you're an employer or also local governments. And so there were a lot of issues with local governments that the transition is they want to have these group homes, but they want to live in single-family neighborhoods. Our definition of family, and all jurisdictions have a definition, would be no more than a certain number of unrelated people, because once you go above that number of unrelated people, you are really a multi-family, no longer single-family. But their treatment to allow people to help transition with this disability into being able to recover from their addiction, treatment plan says they need to live in single-family neighborhoods, not in apartment complexes. So lots of litigation over this with cities who say you can't put these homes in a single-family neighborhood because you exceed the definition of family. We have one. And after it kind of went through, I decided to come up with regulations, working with staff, to say, you have to make a request. If you want to have us make, give you relief from our regulations because of your disability for housing, then you need to make a request to us, outline your disability to the extent we can require them to outline it, and also address the issues that we put forward to make sure that it is a reasonable accommodation of their disability. We adopted that regulation to deal with that particular issue of multiple people living in a single-family home. But this request also falls under this. The horse also fell under that.
right.
So that's why we have them come through and they make this request. And then staff evaluates it based on the criteria that we put in the regulation to evaluate whether this is a disability and a reasonable request.
Thank you. And the main reason I did that was for our two newer commissioners to have some background knowledge.
Any further discussion needed before we call for a vote?
Did you get a second?
I did.
I was gonna, oh, you did? Okay.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you. Now we'll
And
move
good
on.
luck with your health.
Yes.
Now we'll move on to city manager comments.
Okay, I have a couple things, actually. The first thing is, I got a notice from the League of Cities from Karen. She wants to know if we are willing to host the September 24th, 2026 League of Cities dinner in the city of Holly Hill. It's on a Thursday. I don't see any conflict on the calendar. If the commission's okay with that, we'll go ahead and plan for that.
Put that in my calendar so I don't plan to go camping.
Looks good to me.
No
Looks
objection?
good to me.
Okay.
What did he say? What's the date?
September 24th.
Of 2026.
Excuse me,
September 25th?
4.
2026.
Yeah, they have to plan out
Is
a
this really
ways.
next year?
Yes.
Oh,
We're
I'm
not
sorry.
joshing you.
I thought maybe you were joking. Good Lord. Okay.
Okay, a couple of other things. The YMCA sent a notice out to me today, and I'll send it to you as well, that they're looking for members to serve on the local board. So if there are any residents or business owners that are interested in giving back to the community and assisting the YMCA, they're looking for board members. So make you aware of that. I heard something.
I'm not sure, ma'am.
Do you have to be a YMCA member?
I don't, I specifically looked for that in their rules and I didn't see it. So I don't think you have to be a YMCA member to be on the board. But I did specifically look for that in the documents I got tonight. The farmer's market, you know, we are doing a significant amount of improvements at the Sunrise Park, at the end of LPGA, which right now consists of sodding, irrigation, landscaping. We just did the playground, the seawall. So there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that have put into that. And during this recent improvement, we moved the Sunday farmer's market from Sunrise Park to the front of City Hall here. And the ladies that run that want to move it back to Sunrise Park, which I have no problem doing. The concern I have is the vendors want to drive on the north side of the park. They want to drive into the park area, the grass area, come around, drop their wares off, and then exit the south end of the park back into the parking lot. And I really don't want people driving on the new sod and the irrigation system that we just put in. So I want to be able to tell them that we're willing to move them back to Sunrise Park, but they're going to have to hand truck their tables and their wares for sale in from the parking lot rather than driving on the grass. And I'm bringing this up tonight because I know they sent all of you an email about it. I was not copied on that email. I think what they do is they do provide a good service to the community. People like having the market there, but I don't want to risk damaging the park again for the sake of a farmer's market for 4 hours on a Sunday.
Any comments?
Yeah. I'm all in favor, like you and I discussed, I'm all in favor of them moving back to Sunrise, but I know it's been a common practice for years for cops, because my husband used to be one of them, and public works people, and everybody else to drive on that lawn. I think the city has invested quite a substantial amount of money, that no more cops, no more public works, nobody drives on that.
No fishermen.
That lawn, no fishermen. I think the vehicles need to be kept off of that lawn because this is the first time there's ever been irrigation there.
No,
For whatever reason,
had it there before, but
well,
Got destroyed.
it got destroyed. I just think we've invested too much money to improve that park. And several years back, I used to do craft shows a lot, and there was no location I ever sat up at that didn't make you hand truck your stuff in. They didn't let you drive on the property wherever you were setting up. And since we're providing this free of charge, we're not charging for them to set up in the park. I don't think that's a bad request for us to make, is they have to just hand truck the stuff in. I think it's a great thing that they do at the park, but we just have to protect our investment.
okay.
Any
I
other
don't know
comments?
how anybody else feels about that.
Agree with that.
Sorry. This is time for the commission to talk, not the audience. You can get me afterwards.
And then,
I agree with it. I come quite frequently, and I thought they would improve their business being on US 1. And I was here this past Saturday and talking to the two ladies that set it up. The produce guy does well, no matter where he's at. He says his business is the same, but it's the other vendors that are suffering. And I thought, well, that's counterintuitive. There's 20,000 cars going by here on a Saturday morning. But they told me that the traffic that they depend on is foot traffic.
Right.
It's people walking on Saturday morning, walking down Riverside Drive. It's people coming to the park with their children. So I'm all in favor of getting them back there, and I think there's plenty of room that we can work it out in the spirit of cooperation and make everybody happy, so.
I agree. And I really would have thought it would have brought more
I thought,
business out
they said
here.
they're way
But when
down.
I talked to Joe, he said, no, all their traffic, like you said, is foot traffic.
and then the last thing is, as you know, we changed the route of the parade this year from north to south to go south to north. And we're going to put these cold air balloons in the parade, which need to be carried by 6 people. And we're struggling to find people volunteering to carry these balloons, although we think it's still going to be a great idea. Just want to make you all aware that if you know anybody, any groups that would be willing to do this, they can still advertise their business or their group with it as they carry the balloon, but I think it would be a great improvement to the parade.
Can I comment on this
Sure.
too? I'm just full of comments tonight. I spoke to Mr. Forte about this during one of our meetings, and we were supposed to talk about it at the workshop, but we didn't have enough time. Because I thought, I don't know, I don't have a kid in the school anymore, and my little grandkids don't live here anymore, so I'm not sure if the school still requires community service hours for graduation. I don't see any head shaking, so I guess nobody knows. But if they do,
Not for graduation, for Bright Future Scholarships.
okay, well, if they do, some of the groups out at Mainland, baseball team, basketball team, whatever athletics they have plenty of social clubs. I was thinking if we reach out to them, they might be interested in doing something like that for community service hours.
And we have several colleges and universities that might participate.
Yeah, Emory-Riddle, those groups always come out, and I know we used to have other events where we'd have the clubs and groups come out to assist, and I'm not opposed, I don't know how everybody else up here feels, but I'm not opposed to helping to carry along a balloon if we need to, and just X the trailer and we just carry a
Might
balloon.
be the first balloon in the parade.
I don't have a problem with that.
Did you say balloon or balloon?
Balloon.
That's all I got.
All right, Joe. Got anything for us, Scott?
No comments.
Val?
Man, everybody's short of comments tonight.
Go ahead and start with Mr. Delanoy.
Me? I don't really have a whole, I think I said enough during the meeting. The conference was good. Conference we all went to, that was good. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. It was just learned about different things. Doge is coming. You probably already heard about it in Orange County. Hopefully it doesn't come here. I don't think we'll have a problem with it. Joe's pretty tight with everything anyway. But, so learned a lot over there. My first time, didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like a home show and an educational college class, informational stuff, for politicians, I guess, city employees, city managers. So it was good for me. These guys have been there quite a few times, so they know a lot. I got a lot out of it. That's all I can say. Could I tell you what I got out of it? Not all of it. It was pretty intense, some of it. I'm glad to hear that I've had this issue with the pier thing. I don't want to burn that out, but it was an issue. I thought it was under control. Then we had this situation where a good friend of my son's and really good guy, Brian, like he said, he was in Boy Scouts here. Boy Scouts nowadays, if you've got somebody that actually did that in the last 15 years, and I believe you achieved pretty high in that, didn't you? Eagle Scout. Yeah, and it was just kind of a terrible situation that he got in. I was over in Orlando when it happened, or I would have, I know he was trying to call me or get a hold of me, because I would have went down there and hopefully got.
No, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
you can't do that.
Don't do that.
And we got to get it straightened out, because he's going to call me. If he calls me, it happens again, I'll be down there.
You can't get in the middle of the day-to-day operations. That's for that man right there.
We don't want it to go that far then. That needs to come. It's another one of them situations where an ordinance was made and it wasn't completely, worded. We got another one that was done with scooters on the sidewalks. I don't think that one was completely worded out either. And this is another one. You're allowed at the park, but you can fish, but it doesn't really say that. And I think the officers, they look it up, and they're saying nobody's allowed in the park, and then we got somebody out there fishing. Some of these are young officers, they're just getting on the force. They don't know. They're just going by what they were told. They don't know about the good old boy thing about, no, but if they're fishing and they're all right, it's okay. And
I don't know that
that's
I'd
the
refer
discrepancy.
to it as a good old boy thing.
Yeah, I don't-
I kind of take,
Holly Hill was
that's an
a good
ick word to me.
A lot of things in Holly Hill were a good old boy for a long time.
They
I've been that
were.
way for a long time. No, I agree. I agree. Some of the commission and the new
No.
mayors have straightened a lot of that out, no doubt. But there was a lot of that, and it's kind of like, but that's another situation we had. We got, where, yeah, you're all right to fish out there, but it doesn't say that in the ordinance or however that states. But, other than that, I think I said enough. Thanks for being here.
Thank
That's all I got to say.
Vice Mayor Johnson.
That was good, you cleared up, cleared that up,
We don't want another shot.
I don't think anybody gets shot, really.
I'm just so happy that, if you couldn't hear me too well. Can you hear now? Working? I'm just so happy that our mayor's back, so I don't have to do it anymore. If he'd gone much longer, I'd have to put in for relieving like I did at the power company. If you move up a slot to fill somebody's place, they give you relieving pay, so I'm gonna cut you some slack on that one, John, so I'll go do that. But I'm glad you're back, really, because you're a much better mayor than I am. I already did my term, or terms. But everything seemed to be going better in the city. I got to do the welcoming for the Ormond Beach Chamber after hours at Pictona for their after hours. I think it was last Wednesday. I think it was the night after the commission meeting. That was a good thing, so I like that. And I did get to do the commission meeting thing, but I don't understand why we had like 6 or 7 items on the agenda, then we get back with one meeting. We did have quite a few last time, but that's good. I made it through it. And I'm just happy that Flight Gymnastics and Lucia Sports Center is doing great right now, and I'm sure Pictona is doing great right now, and all of our sports places are doing good, even in really, really bad weather. We've had a lot of that lately, but and I got a feeling we got more to come. But everything seems to be going good, and I don't have any more cancer. I know that they can find. So a year and a half ago, I was kind of give up on, but now the last scans I got, they can't seem to find it. The cancer doctor says he knows it's got to be in there somewhere, but he can't find it. Maybe it's because so many people are praying for me, I'm sure. I'm blessed that way. I haven't completely cleared up yet. It's only been 3 weeks since my radiation treatment. And if anybody has a chance to go through radiation treatment, I would definitely avoid it because that's not a fun thing. But everything seems to be getting better, and I'm blessed, believe me, and I appreciate it. And thank you so very much for everything everyone does for this city and comes out and participates. And everything's going great. Now pass on to whoever you want to get next.
Commissioner Snow.
I don't have anything to say. That's unusual.
Commissioner Curry. You said enough.
I know, I've said enough. You always tell me that. Hey, 15 months and you don't have to listen to me anymore. But as Heidi pointed out, oh, you're gone anyway now, and she heard me fighting back in the conference room during workshop. I won't be gone until the night in November that they tell me I'm gone. And I won't be gone then, I'll be back. Not politically. I'll join you ladies. I appreciate all the participation tonight. Young man, I hope we have you squared away. Unfortunately, that happened. But I think the chief is going to make sure that no longer happens, because that really saddens my heart, because I come from the police, not this police department, but that was my line of work, and we need to do better and treat people better. Sir, again, I wish you all the good health, and I hope everybody
Oh,
has...
he's not her husband.
Huh?
He's her friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay. Well, to your husband, good health. Not judging. But I really hope everybody has a good Labor Day weekend. Take time to spend with your family. I'm going camping, so I'll be with mine. That's my new thing, people, camping, so that's all I have, sir.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Vice Mayor Johnson for filling in for me when I was on family vacation. Came back, the city was still here, so I guess you did a good job. Yeah. Just one thing, we have the Mayor's Golf Tournament coming up September 13th at the Riviera Assisted Living Facility. And it benefits the Seabreeze Kiwanis Club, the Holly Hill Police Foundation, and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We have 108 players enlisted now. We can only take 112. So if anyone wants to play golf, let me know. Got room for one more team. Thank you to everyone that has contributed to that. And if you want to just come out,
I was gonna ask.
8 o'clock. We tee off at 8:30, or they tee off at 8:30. I've invited all the mayors, all the past and present mayors to attend. Hopefully, they can all be there. It's a good time. Come out and,
And I'm not booking camping that weekend, just to show my support.
all right.